treat the stash like it's up for grabs. On the road to the riches, my foot on the gas. Can't be stopped, the wheel keep spinning. I'm chasing success like this is my last. I wake up in the morning, thank the Lord that I made it up. I was so close to the edge like a pebble, baby help. I turned a little nothing into something, like I put a bun in the oven. I first get red like a newborn. If you weren't with me going too storm, then you can't make it rain with me. You ain't in the struggle when the struggle tryna hustle. Don't play with me. You sleep for a week, you spend the day with me. Look at my shoes, how come was even lacing it. If I handed you my talent in the cup, you know dry niggas will probably end up wasting it. Now who's gonna clean up that spill? Look at my lane and see God at the wheel. I need the cash, I need it fast. I treat the stash like it's up for grabs. On the road to the riches, my foot on the gas. Can't be stopped, the wheel keep spinning. I'm chasing success like this is my last. I wake up in the morning, thank the Lord that I made it up. I was so close to the edge like a pebble, baby help. I turned a little nothing into something, like I put a bun in the oven. I first get red like a newborn. If you weren't with me going too storm, then you can't make it rain with me. You ain't in the struggle when the struggle tryna hustle. Don't play with me. You sleep for a week, you spend the day with me. Look at my shoes, how come was even lacing it. If I handed you my talent in the cup, you know dry niggas will probably end up wasting it. Now who's gonna clean up that spill? Look at my lane and see God at the wheel.
Okay. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. We got to talk about The Deliverance. I actually was really looking forward to this movie. I don't know about y'all. I was looking forward to it. And then we watched it and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. I you know what? We're going to talk about it because I have some thoughts. I have some critiques. They had some nice casting. Yeah. Let me know in the comments. Did you all watch The Deliverance and how did you all feel about it? And I want to know, the horror fans, how did you all feel about it? Because I know we are very, very harsh when it comes to horror movies. So I would like to know what you all think. But guess what? You're not just going to get my take on it. We are going to talk to some other people that are backstage. Let's bring them up. No particular order. I'm going to start with the one who got on Nick Cannon's headband. Come on up here.
What we're not going to do is come for my turban. Not too much on her. I had a vision today, because it's September 1st. It's virtually fall. So, I had to do that. But yeah, we're going to talk about it. The people literally in my TikTok and in these comments, you're about to pee me out, right? Black people are not monoliths. Just because a black man made a movie doesn't mean it was good. And it don't mean we have to have the same opinion of it. It is okay to have a difference of opinion. And you can still be right. And I can still be right. You know what I'm saying, Kay? Why, Bly? Why, Bly? We all got to like everything.
See, I ain't messing with y'all today. I want to hear from D first. D, what is your opinion on this movie? Just some first thoughts on this movie.
I think Lee Daniels needs to be in jail. I mean, I think I knew that. I knew that a long time ago, but I think it's just been officially cemented. There's so much to say.
Yep. Yeah, it is. I thought you might have had a different opinion, but clearly we hear. I already know how this next person feels about it, but Struggle, let these people know your first couple of thoughts when we were watching The Deliverance.
Trash. Trash. Absolute trash. Wasting my time. 2 hours of my life that I could never get back. I'm gonna let him make it. Trash as a black film, trash as a horror film, trash all around. Never want to see it again.
Not even a second. And you know what? I was going to try to watch it a second time. I said, maybe I missed something. And you know what? I didn't. I didn't. At least the first time I went in, I was hopeful. At least watching it the second time, I was just like, yeah. So we have a new guest to the channel today. Actually, she's been on our channel before, probably a few years ago. But being that we had our movie that we thought was going to be a horror movie, but it's actually more about some Black trauma, we're going to have to call in an expert when it comes to people who need therapy. So y'all, this is Tasha, who is also a therapist. Tasha, where did you feel watching this movie?
I think I'm still processing it. Yeah, I'm still processing the people they chose to be in it and how it rolled. Yeah. I'm still thinking on it. It was good till it wasn't.
When was it good?
Did you have high hopes going in, or were you going in blind?
I was going in very blind. I had no clue. Seeing Glenn, and I was like, what is this? Why would they put her in this? And I mean, I won't watch it again, I'll tell you that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, people in the chat. How did you? Let's see what we got in here. It was kind of goofy, but I enjoyed myself. This one here. Let me see. Because what were they doing right here? What is this? What y'all? I just we gonna get into this because I feel like that there was something good there. There was something good, but they didn't give us the something good. Shout out to the already 60+ people in the chat. I see y'all ready to talk about this too, and that y'all got some feelings right along with us. Well, good, because I got to express myself. The Deliverance, you all. So before we get into the movie itself, let's take a minute to talk about. Let's do some Would You Rather. Y'all know I got to make it fun. First of all, this ain't got nothing to do with the movie, but sometimes we got to lighten the mood up and maybe pump our spirits up so that we don't seem like we up here complaining the whole time. So, would you rather? Let me see who we're gonna start with first. We're gonna start with D, because D, you haven't played Would You Rather with us. So, D, haunted house, or would you rather be stuck in a sundown town?
Considering that one of my earliest film experiences was watching The Addams Family, and I felt seen in some way, I think I can make things work with the haunted house.
So you feel like you would get along with the Addams, so haunted house it is.
Absolutely.
Tyra, stuck in a haunted cemetery or a haunted plantation?
At least I'll stand a chance at the cemetery. I don't got time to be trying to get God off on the plantation because Master want to come back and hunt me, and I ain't even did a damn thing. No, we gonna stick with the cemetery. I think because we don't know who's buried at the cemetery. We know who at the haunted plantation. It's old, people like us, disgruntled, and it's Master in them. I'm gonna go to the cemetery.
See, I thought that you might have chose the plantation. I was gonna choose the plantation because see, let me tell you, the way that I look at it.
Nope.
Then my ancestors is probably out there, so they gonna protect me.
No, see, they out there, but no, all of them, because that was burying every time grandma, whoever died in the house from Master and them, they buried them all. I don't got time. All of them people in there too. I'd rather take my chance in the cemetery.
See, I was with Miriam. Like, see, that's what I was saying. They're my people. Like, we gonna be good. I ain't think about the folks that own the big house being buried out there at the same time.
They are.
I ain't think about that. Book Girls and Purrs, haunted house and the cemetery. Okay. Let's see. Ashley, would you rather someone bite you and you become a werewolf, or you somehow get infested with an alien parasite?
Okay, so here's the thing. We're going to go werewolf all day for 100, Alex. And this will just help me, live out the fantasy of me being with Jacob. You know what I mean? Twilight fans. You know what I'm saying? We could just make a go of it. We'll be one big happy werewolf family.
So you wouldn't at least if you got your body taken over by like the alien parasite, you wouldn't even know it.
No,
you wouldn't have the trauma of being.
What's so bad about being a dire wolf? What's so bad about it? What's so bad about transforming at the full moon and being a dire wolf, feeding, and then coming back into your regular, what's so wrong with it?
Well, because see, no, the transformation from a werewolf on Twilight ain't the same as it was in American Werewolf in London. Those two different transformations, you know.
You didn't give the reference. I chose for myself.
See, you know what? Maybe I should have put in parentheses what I meant when I saw that. Because see, when I see werewolf transformation, I see your skin got to be pulled back, your face got to stretch, and all that kind of stuff. Your flesh is being ripped from its body, and you thinking like it's gonna be a magical pop.
But then you snap back.
Yeah. Okay.
A win is a win. A win is a win.
A win is a win. Tasha, would you rather wake up and find out that it has been an alien invasion, or would you rather wake up and it's a zombie apocalypse like Rick Grimes?
That was the one that I did not want, because I don't foresee my little bougie self surviving either one of them. But I'm going to go with the zombie apocalypse, because from what I've seen, there's always a group of people willing to take in people like me and help me survive. So if I can get from point A to where those people that are going to look out for me, I stand a chance. Now, I might be one to hold them back and they may let me go eventually, but at least, I feel like my time would be spread a little bit longer with the zombie apocalypse opposed to the alien invasion.
I feel like I have the skills to survive a zombie apocalypse. I feel like I've been watching zombie movies for enough years, and I think that I'm strapped enough that I might stand a chance. Now, if we have to be quiet, we might not make it, because freaking frack are too loud and we ain't gonna make it.
No,
it's not gonna happen. If the dog and the child have to survive, I'm not gonna survive. Now I want everybody to answer this last question. Tasha, we're gonna start with you. Now, if you had,
you don't even gotta talk about it. There's no way that I could go into anybody's jigsaw, anything. I'm gonna take my own stuff. No, thank you. I would take my chance at Go Fish, Red Light, Marbles. I'll take my chances. I'm not making it through Jigsaw's game at all.
Well, either one, you're gonna die if you lose.
I feel like I stand a better chance at some more logical games than Squid Game. I can run if I need to run. I can't get myself out of these contraptions. No, thank you.
Tasha, Tyra, Squid Game or Jigsaw? I already know what you're gonna say.
You already know I don't play with that. We going to Squid Games all day long. At least I get a nice little silent shoot 'em up death and go on by my business. I ain't got time for Jigsaw be playing on my intentions, me take myself out. No, nothing will be self-inflicted. They can go and hit me with the little Squid Game bullet, and I can go to sleep. I'm okay.
You ain't trying to slice off your foot or poke your eyeball out, because either way, if y'all lose either one of these games, like you're gonna die either way.
I'm reading these comments. People trying to justify this movie and call it a comedy. This was not supposed to be a comedy. We're not gonna let that slide neither.
Not at all. D, Squid Game or Jigsaw's game?
Squid Game 100%. I don't have the pain threshold or tolerance to be dealing with long, drawn out, painful deaths where I gotta chop something off, or I gotta remove this, or I just don't have time. Squid Game, I'll just be honest. Knowing what I know about myself, I might do well in the Squid Game. So I'll just leave it at that.
Okay. And last but not least, Ashley, Sweet Pea, we gonna play the Squid Game or Jigsaw?
Baby, it's Squid Game all day. We're not burrowing holes in my stomach to retrieve keys. I'm not cutting off my own arm, like Pit and the Pendulum. We're not doing any of these things, okay? So I'm gonna stick with Squid Game. I can do Simon Says. I can do, like Natasha said, red light, green light, freeze tag, dodgeball. I'll take my chances with those things. We're not going out like that. No. Mm-mm.
Well, dang, y'all ain't gonna let Billy the puppet slide out there in his tricycle.
Nope, I'd rather lift and cook this cake and try to make a triangle, whatever they were doing over there.
Now, I feel like I could pull myself out of a trap more than I could try to get the umbrella off of the sugar cookie.
Hey, we might get a square. I might get a triangle. I take my chances. I might get a circle.
See, that's what y'all be thinking. Y'all think y'all gonna get the easy stuff. Y'all might get the hard stuff. Okay. See, y'all think. See, he might give y'all the hardest going. Y'all playing with y'all life on that one. Okay. At least Jigsaw try to make it easy for you to win. What? A little bit.
What movie KB watching?
Right.
Y'all know I be team Jigsaw. Y'all know I be riding hard. He be out here doing the Lord's work because he don't go after just any old body. You got to be somebody that do something wrong. Now Squid Game, you know, it's free game. They be killing innocent people in Squid Game. Okay. But like in Jigsaw, it's only the people that be like deserving it.
No, I've done some things in my life, and so I don't want to chance is a good or a bad thing. I don't want to be judged. I don't need nobody else judging me for my old ways.
Shout out to the over 80 something people in the chat. Y'all, we are going to get into this movie. Thank y'all for popping up for us. Before we start with the movie itself, let's take a moment to talk about the director, Lee Daniels, who's done things like Empire, The Butler, Precious, Star. I believe. I want to know, before you even watch the movie, did you think that Lee Daniels could successfully pull off a horror movie without throwing in a little bit of black? Before you even went into it, do you think that the type of, criteria he has in his films, did you think he was going to be able to separate that and do a good horror movie, Ashley?
Okay, so here's the thing. Y'all know I'm not a horror girly, right? But all of his shows are like horror, right? So if you watched Empire, the first episode, when that man put the baby in the trash can, I said, well, dang. And then you see Star and you see what happened there. And then you saw Precious and you saw what happened there. It's impossible for him to create without black trauma corn. Okay. It's impossible. So no, I didn't think he would go into this and we would see anything less than what he gave us. I actually think he practiced restraint because I think it could have been worse. I think he could have done worse. I do.
D.
Listen, the thing about Lee Daniels is that this is the same man who openly, I can't tell you which premiere, I couldn't tell you what red carpet. This is the same man who stepped out on somebody's red carpet wearing a shake and go wig and was unapologetically confident in making that decision. So my thing is, if you don't have any kind of boundaries in the way in which regarding what you put on your head, I can't really trust too much when it comes to what you put on screen. And from what I've seen of Lee Daniels, it's always going to be some hood boogery and tomfoolery. And this was no different. In some ways, I think he's pushed the threshold of boogery and tomfoolery even further, especially with one particular line. But we'll get there.
I gotta steal this term. You said hood boogery and tomfoolery. We'll be taking that and adding it to my list of vocabulary. Thank you, Dee, for that wonderful term. Tyra, what did you think? Did you think that Lee Daniels could actually do a good horror movie? Because he done had some hits. His movies that made millions of dollars, Academy Awards. But did you think that he could touch horror?
I didn't want him to touch it, but I was just hoping. Because with his films and his shows, your Precious, your Star, there's always going to be a toxic mother. There's going to be some essays, some type of abuse, some type of trauma attached to the story. Horror is trauma enough on its own. So I thought, if any time, this would be the one time where he could leave those agendas by the wayside and just give us a horror film, especially with this being the established based on a true story. We didn't need to go there. It was the trauma enough with what this Black family was experiencing on the spiritual side and the demonic side. Why would we incorporate that? Disgusting. I was so disappointed. I was like, man, this is the one time I ain't got to worry about no Precious moments, no Star moments. We could just have a straightforward, like I don't have to worry about that. And he managed every single time he manages to put that in there. And it's the same tendencies with Tyler Perry. You do not have to put your own emotional struggles, beats, trauma in every single thing that you present out here to the world. Stop. Oh.
Tasha, did you think that Lee Daniels could give us a good horror movie?
I don't know. Now that y'all are saying the shows that he's had, they all kind of follow the same path to trauma, right? So I think he has one template, and he says, "I'm going to use this template for everything." We're just gonna copy and paste and repeat.
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker was not there to regulate. You know what?
Why can't anybody be just one good mother? Nobody, even the what's Monique? F them kids. What was that movie called? F them kids. Whatever that movie, the reading. He just did that one. Like it's gonna be some trauma every single time. In a piss poor excuse for a mother.
I wanted to give it to because I know he knows how to make good film. I know he does. But I just wanted, and I thought that because this was supposed to be based on a true story, right? Mm-hmm. I thought, and we're gonna talk about that later too. I said, you know what, he's got the criteria there. Like there's something there that we can do. But then he said, no, I want to do it how I want to do it anyway. Like, oh yeah, this is a good basis for something that's gonna be real horrific, but I gotta make it a little hood. Shout out to the 100 people, 100 people plus that are here to talk about the Deliverance with us. Y'all, if you're liking the panel, if you're loving the chat, go ahead and visit everybody's channel, hit like, hit subscribe, hit us up with some super chats. YouTube playing with my channel right now, so they done disabled my super chats, but the Cash App is up there. But y'all, we want to hear from y'all. Go ahead and support the panel because we got some good discussions to dive in this movie. And I seen some people in the comments said that they have not watched it yet. After we say this, you might not want to, but you know what? Go do it for fun. Watch it for fun. So the characters, we are introduced to Ebony, who was played by Andra Day, who was in the Billie Holiday movie. She's also a singer, and Glenn Close, which is almost unrecognizable. I would rather her came in there with her Cruella de Vil outfits on, because I'm like, why is her makeup so dark? Was this supposed to be giving white woman or biracial mom? Until we realized that no, Lee Daniels wanted to make sure that she was white and her child was biracial, just because he felt like doing it. It wasn't part of the story. He just wanted to do it anyway. Ebony, Ebony likes to take a sip, okay? I'm pretty sure she wakes up in the morning and listens to Blame It on the Alcohol, because that's pretty much what she does with her life. And Alberta, they didn't get into a lot of the backstory, but seeing these two characters, first thing we notice is that they really don't even like each other. She cussing her mama out from left to right, saying things that all of us would have never imagined saying to our mom. And if we did, we probably wouldn't be sitting before you today. And then when you realize that she not only talks to her mom like this, but that's why her children don't respect her either. Tyra, tell me about this mother-daughter duo here, and what did you think about their relationship?
Oh my God, Kay, why you come to me first? You know you're supposed to come to me first. You're supposed to come to me first. All respect to Miss Getting Close, but this was not the time or the portion of her career where we needed to give her the white women who date black ninjas aesthetic. That's the last thing I wanted to see on Glenn Close. Like, it was very disturbing for me to watch her interactions with Omar Epps. That was the scariest part of the film to me. I was just like, please don't take this any further than him pushing up on her, because my heart can't take it. I don't want to see that. This was such a waste of a really great cast. Every person in this cast is a heavy hitter, and I just wanted to know what the check was looking like, because clearly the check cleared in a major way. Audra Day, I loved her in the Billie Holiday situation, yet another Lee Daniels situation, and it was traumatic there. I didn't like the depiction of Billie Holiday, but I loved her performance, and she performed yet again. But if we would have focused more on the horror aspects of this film, I maybe would have enjoyed it more. we spent about 65% of the movie just on their toxic, combative mother-daughter, F you, F this, and it didn't cater at all to the story. So I went to, look up the lady, the Miss Latoya, to see if this was anywhere in her history. And it's just like, no, Very Lee Daniels. I put this here because this dynamic isn't shown in film enough. I was like, what? What dynamic? Like the dynamic of a a biracial daughter in her. I was like, what are you watching? Because we've seen it, and we've seen it depicted better than this. But it was as if we didn't know how to properly write a script, and the only way that we could have them communicate, even if we wanted to display toxicity, it didn't have to go where it was. I feel like we spent too much time on that and not enough on the horror, and the film suffered for it. But the last thing I want to see is, and y'all, I'm not even gonna bring up Kiki Wyatt Mama, because y'all been going in with them photos, baby, with Glenn Close saying this is Kiki Wyatt's mom. Like, I just don't, I never want to see this again. I almost felt like disrespected for Glenn Close. I know she's, been in the game. She, baby ain't doing nothing she don't want to do, but I was like, baby, why are you here? You deserve better than this. You are a legend. No, ma'am. And Audra, I just want better for her. I want her to stay far, far, far away from Mr. Lee Daniels and whatever she decides to do in the future. Was the casting there? Absolutely. Was the acting there? Absolutely. But they had absolutely nothing to say that lended itself to a horror movie.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that there. Absolutely. D, what did you think about Ebony and her mom and their relationship, their mother-daughter dysfunctional relationship? Did we even need this?
Well, I mean, I can definitely say, I don't know if this was a core point of the film, but I guess it's safe to say Ebony and Ivory don't live together in perfect harmony.
You know what?
It definitely was, because honestly, I forgot all about Kiki Wyatt's mom, because it was definitely given that. But also, if anyone remembers Kim Bella's mother from Love and Hip Hop New York season 2, it was also given that as well. So I don't know if we were trying to speak to the hood aesthetic of white moms and biracial aesthetics, and Lee Daniels decided he wanted to be the one to lead the charge and represent that for this film. But I can't say I was looking for that. I've definitely, like I said, I'm not gonna say I haven't seen stuff like this before, but good Lord, I don't know if I needed to be subjected to this. And then let me also make it very clear that we have two people who wrote this. One is white and one appears to be biracial. That may not be, but the person is Black and very, very fair. And I'm just trying to understand who and why, who came up with the concept that this is how these characters have to interact. I mean, like, there are films that have records for the amount of F-bombs dropped, and I understand I'm not the most profane person out there, but it's just like, even from a dialogue perspective, it's like they found a way to just throw in all kinds of F-U-B, F this, mother, you ain't this, you ain't that, your mama ain't. I mean, it was just like wild. And it was just like, what is the point of this relationship when we don't even really get anything besides just constant like negative toxicity? That to me, just on top of everything else, was just like, please stop. I just like, it became comical after a certain point, which obviously must have been the goal also. Yeah. So Glenn Close has already suffered through enough, being nominated 8 times by the Academy and winning not one Oscar. So the fact that Lee Daniels managed to get his clutches on her is just unfortunate. And the great thing I can say about Andra Day is that she is in a much better film called Exhibiting Forgiveness that I saw back in January. It's going to be coming out very soon. So she's already on the right track. And she managed to overcome a lot of the ignorance and foolery that Lee Daniels managed to inject in that Billie Holiday biopic. But as far as this, too talented for the boogery, please.
We did all of this to give her character some trauma. This is crazy.
Crazy. Tasha, how did you feel about this dysfunctional mother-daughter relationship?
I feel like there should have been a trigger warning for anyone that happened to be in a realistic relationship like this, because the dynamic between the two of them, it was very cringy for me to watch them go back and forth with each other, and not just like go back and forth, but like go in and in front of the kids. Like, you could tell that the kids mirrored the grandmother in the disrespect towards Ebony. And it was just to see them all under the same roof and how they interacted with each other, how her son interacted with her. It all mirrored the grandmother. And it's like, if we don't like each other, just say that and just go in the opposite direction. Like, it was very cringy. I was just the whole time like, this is really hard to watch. And I don't think it gives enough information for those that want to watch it, that have been through the actual experience of a parent-daughter relationship like this. So yeah, they could have left a lot of it out, or they could have like alluded to some things, but not have to show all of this.
Yeah, because when I clicked on to watch a horror movie, he put me right into BET Cinema. Ashley, how did you feel about this mother-daughter relationship?
Yeah. I mean, so here's the thing, right? There's a way to do stuff. Like there's a way to establish a generational pattern of trauma and abuse without doing what he did. This felt really ham-fisted to me in his approach. Like, let's just throw it all out there without really any nuance, right? She's angry for what we think is no reason. So automatically your hackles are kind of raised against Ebony, because why are you acting like this? They later reveal like the deeper trauma, but by then it's too late because you already don't like her. You're like, she's a trash mama. Her mama's a trash mama. Like, we get it. I think my issue with this whole thing, as far as it didn't go into, like you guys said, horror. I'm not a horror fan, but I expect when I watch a horror film to be scared. For there to be something that's like, oh my goodness, it just didn't land for me. And as far as the dynamic of this mother-daughter, for me, it didn't connect for me. It wasn't even, their anger to me wasn't even really believable, because initially we don't have a basis of why it's established. We just think Ebony's an angry Black woman and the mama's just, a former prostitute, really. That's what it gave for me. And again, it was overbearing. The FUB, I'll fight you right now, like to your like in the first couple minutes. Like,
Ashley, when did the prostitute part happen? Did I miss that?
I made that up because of how she walked.
See, that's just what it felt like. They didn't even tell us that. We just kind of assumed that might have been what was going down from the interactions that they had. We just they left it up for us to figure it out on our own. And when we figured out on our own, that's the conclusion that we had.
Well, I got that she just had a revolving door of, Black men, and she wasn't protecting her daughter as she should. And, someone came in, took her innocence away. That's what I got. I didn't think she was on stroll.
Oh, I did. I thought it was that too.
Let's talk about the kids here, and shout out to the over 130 people in the chat today. I see a lot of comments. If you would like them prioritized, please attach $1 to it so that you can make sure we are reading it on the screen. The children, we got Nate, who is the oldest son, who's being bullied. Why y'all bullying Caleb like that? He got enough to deal with in the upside down. Then we have Shantae, who just want to see her dad, want her dad to call, reach out, do something. And then little Andre, who is the first. Okay, this is what I don't understand, is that although little Andre is the one that's possessed, why does it seem like the possession is like ho-hopping? Like, we gonna possess this one, but I want you to feel it too, and then you gonna feel the possession, but you really gonna be possessed, but then you get a little bit of the possession, and then you get a tiny bit, but the little one, he's the main one. I really feel like if we would have just focused in on this one child and his possession and let everybody help him, let's just focus on him. I really think he did some pretty good acting for his age and what he had to work with this possession, because creepy kids are always I love to see a nice little creepy kid. But I don't understand why I had to like bounce around from one to the other. Ashley, how did you feel? Tell me about the kids. What do you think about the children here?
I wanted to know the kids more. We didn't really get to know these characters. They were so underdeveloped, unfortunately. I wanted to know more about Shantae and this dynamic with her dad because it seemed like they had a close relationship, but it kind of just dropped off. The oldest son, he's out there getting money because he want to get away from these people. But why? We saw him a little bit bullied, but still there was really nothing more to that. And then the little baby boy was just weird. Like he was just weird for no reason. What happened to the baby? um I really wanted to know more about their characters, who they were as individuals, just not, the little boy who has an imaginary friend, or the son who's, the angry teen. I just wish we could have delved a little bit deeper. Again, that's probably my biggest complaint. I feel like this movie and the story itself had a lot of potential. We just didn't dig deep, I don't think.
Absolutely. Oh, and not to mention the aggression from the relationship with the mom, and they don't respect her at all. And she do be laying hands on them. And she be out of pocket with laying hands on her kids, and they don't respect her. They've had to deal with her, and she steals from them. What is going on here? D, what is happening here?
I, my, I feel like my understanding of children, especially when it comes to dynamics like this, I have empathy because I understand like their lives are being shaped by the parent, and then the parent, their lives are, their life has been shaped by their parent, and it keeps going back. I get that. I'm not going to act like I didn't think the kids were weirdos and they didn't work my nerves, because they did. I was just like, I needed my man, like you said, to go back to the upside down. Shantae was there. Andre, I wanted to, I wanted someone to just like V8 smack Andre in his forehead, because he just absolutely worked my last nerve. I think I needed to have empathy for the children, but I needed to understand that, Ebony's influence on them, and then at the same time I needed to realize that this wasn't good for them and that it wasn't positive. But maybe it's just the obvious direction and the tone of it. But I was just like, I was very much over it. I want to have empathy for the kids, but I'm just like, like that picture of the mom doing the free throw. That's where I was with this. Sorry to those kids.
So basically what you saying, D, is F them kids, is what I am gathering from your opinion on the children. Thank you, R Hill, for the $2 super sticker. Tasha, what's going on with these kids?
Well, I do want to say that not only does Ebony lay hands on her kids, she will also lay hands and feet on other kids. So that is something to put out there too. She is all about fuck these kids, and anyone in the neighborhood can get it too. I would have to say Andre really did irritate my nerves. Yeah, he irritated my nerves. He was very instigating, and to show him as the weak one that got possessed, and then yeah, that was annoying. Nate, I would have liked to know his story a little bit more. Like, he didn't come off as someone that would get bullied, so I wanted to know why he was getting bullied. And I would like to know more of Shantae's relationship with her dad. I would like to know all of their relationships with their dad, and why did he just up and go to Iraq and leave them? But also, why is he talking to them on the side, sending them money and all of this information? Like, how did we get the family to this house and the mama in the house with them to help take care of the kids that she's not really helping take care of? So I wanted to know the whole backstory, but I had to just create my own. Nate is now the man of the house. Ebony don't want him to leave. Shantae is the middle child. She actually did come off kind of invisible as a middle child would. And then you have Andre, the baby, who Ebony babied on, but also was really in his face, and he got the brunt of the house. So.
Oh, Nate is definitely giving man of the house vibes at this point. Tyra, what's wrong? What's wrong here? What's wrong?
They just weren't developed well. Like, I did feel some type of empathy for the kids because clearly we them people was already in our life before we moved into this place. So she's an unfit mother. She's a drinker. She's, laying hands on the kids. I didn't feel any way towards them because they weren't respecting her. I wouldn't respect her either. I'm trying to get away. I'm in fear. Like, they just really didn't develop these kids well. I needed to know more about the dad because at first I thought she was just a single mom, and it's like, oh no, he just up and went to Iraq, and I was like, what? Are we not going to go anywhere with that? It just wasn't enough. Like, Caleb here is very capable of acting and giving what needs to be. They didn't give these babies no opportunities to shine. I feel like they should have let little Andre run a couple of his lines again. They didn't give Shantae nothing. They gave none of them, like, nobody had anything here to work with. So we weren't left with anything. What I was questioning was the system and just DSS. Is that what it is? I was like, how long? What's got to happen for y'all to take the kids? I didn't understand what exactly Monique's character needed it to escalate to feel like this was an unfit situation. Because prior to the supernatural things, these children have, unexplained bruises. They are at times in fear of her. We clearly physically see her. That's the first. I was like, we literally have this movie on for 2 minutes, and the first thing we see is her popping little Andre in the mouth. Like, I didn't know what they wanted us to do with them or the mother because she was clearly unfit, but they want us to root for her and connect with her children and regain whatever her motherhood is and subside her own struggles to get her faith and be a better mom and stop laying hands and stop drinking. But it was just too late. I just didn't care. I wanted somebody to save these children. And I do understand that in real time, Lee Daniels tweaked everything else he wanted to tweak. I really felt like that they should have focused on Andre in the sense of the possession and let their other kids just be kids. How they were trying to bounce around and kind of make it unexplained, and they have these unexplained bruises that at some point in the movie I was like, well, did she put that on them kids? We ain't see it, but we've seen her do we've seen her do more for less. So I'm not even gonna do that. But it almost made the mother look even more ridiculous because we have poor Andre walking in the walls, busting his head in that little fly infested basement. It's just like, oh, didn't I tell you to get in the bed? Like, what is it? She was just unaware, baby. I just didn't know what they wanted us to do with these kids. They gave them nothing, so it gave us nothing in return. They would have focused on Andre with the possession and maybe had the family bond that way, and maybe have Nate step up and come full circle as a family. Maybe that would have worked instead of later on deciding to separate the kids and do what they did towards the end of the film. It just didn't work at all for me.
Ashley? You on mute?
We already talked about them kids. I told
okay. Well, Ashley, you first on this one. Everyone else, okay? Wasting good actors. Y'all got Tasha Smith, who is not only an actress but a director, who anybody could have been in this role. Why was she here? Omar, why would you waste the talent of the legendary Omar Epps? Somebody said they reduced him to nothing but a male gigolo. Why would you do that to this man? Okay, why would you do that to him? Anjanou Ellis, I think they gave her a little bit more of a role here to do something important. But then they took her out. She didn't have to actually even pass away in that moment. Okay, there was no reason for that. And then actually, I liked Monique here. Out of all of the senseless actors that were here, I actually loved her in this role. I wish that we could have even had some flashbacks of her having to run up in their house in the past and snatch them kids, because she really does not like Ebony in this movie. Like, you can tell she's seen a crappy mom and is like, I done took him before, I will take him again. Well, show us what you had to do the first time so that we could be on the same page as you. Because Lee Daniels was trying to make us like her, and we wanted to be like you, Miss Social Worker, because we were seeing the things you were seeing as like, maybe they might need to get taken at this point. Ashley, how do we feel about the rest of the casting?
Here's the thing. Even with Monique's character, we find out that the dad, who's in war or independent contractor, whatever he's doing over there, is the one who called CPS on Ebony. And it's like, you guys didn't explore that either. Omar, that was diabolical, nefarious, atrocious work on the part of Lee Daniels, and he needs to be under the jail, because there's no way I ever in my imagination would see him and Glenn Close getting close, flirting. I mean, she got her titties out at the chemo and he's just eating it up. Like, stop doing this.
Why would you do that to us, Lee Daniels? We didn't ask for that. We didn't want to see that.
Nobody.
Why, Bly? No, it was gross. It was gross. I never wanted to see it. Anjanou Ellis, this role pissed me off as well, because how you an apostle and you ain't got no power, sis? Like, it. You ain't got no power.
I'm like, how did she die?
You ain't got no power. And I actually got my life seeing Tasha Smith as the preacher, who was like, no, we don't do that here, baby. We that ain't this type a church. Again, talented group, but their potential was absolutely wasted in these characters. Give me one quality character in here, right? Maybe give me just a Cynthia and a Anjanou Ellis, and devote some time with their development, and maybe don't give me these little weird side stories. There's no way I needed him and Kiki Wyatt Mama flirting and humping and all that stuff. I don't even want it. I don't even want the innuendo of it. I don't want it in my mind. Yeah.
Nobody wanted to see that. We didn't ask for that, Lee. That ain't even a part of the real story. You just threw that in there for kicks and giggles, because I didn't want that. Tyra, how did you feel about these actors, and why would he do that to them? Why would he do that to them?
What is an understatement? It just makes me feel sad for Hollywood that they felt like they needed to do these parts. I just felt like the well was dry, or maybe they just had, some familiarity. Like they've all been a part of like a Lee Daniels situation already, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure about Omar Epps, but everybody else here has, had their time with him. This reverse Precious situation for Monique, not being the Mary, she's the social worker here. First of all, the hair was laid. Okay, I don't care what's going on. The hair was laid. Monique gonna show up with them edges and everything else laid, them grays where they need to be. It's always perfection. Tasha Smith wasted, that was a waste of time. I was like, it felt like some things had to have been cut out, or there was some trimming. There is no way you brought Omar Epps here to push up on Glenn Close. I at least thought he was. I'm like, okay, so somebody has to die. Maybe he's gonna be the sacrificial black man. Like, no, we didn't even. That was a waste. It's a sad day when Miss Anjanou Ellis cannot save your film. Like, she gonna deliver every time. Everybody here did what they could with what they had. It was just so minimal that it couldn't go far. Even just her lurking around. We introduced her too late. We didn't do as much as we could with her. And then when we got her in the fold, even after everything the mother had experienced, she still was in denial. Like, I was like, the story was just not making sense. And I thought Anjanou would make it out. She just had to die for what? If we were gonna sacrifice anybody, baby, it needs to be Omar. Because why are you pushing up on Glenn Close and serenade her in his house? Disgusting. I just don't know what happened. All of the elements were there for this to be a really good film. And Monique did what she could. Anjanou did what she could. Tasha did what she could. I'm not disappointed in these people. I'm disappointed in the script and what they had to work with.
Yeah, that's what I feel. I felt like if he didn't actually pick good actors, this movie would have been this movie would have been straight in hell.
This is a Tubi original. If I ever seen one, this is a Tubi original.
It would have been straight up dumpster fire.
No spice to Tubi, but this is a Tubi original. This is a high budget Tubi film. Sad.
Thank you for the $10 super chat. Swag fan 100. What up, ladies? I haven't seen the movie, but I don't really plan on it either. I'm not a fan of Lee Daniels. Well, that's okay because we will let you know everything that you need to know. Hang out with us, and we'll tell you probably why you're not going to want to watch it after this. But do it for fun. Do it for fun. Tasha, why would he do that to these people? Why he can't? Why would he waste these people?
I mean, it's the same reason that people just put a whole bunch of stuff in a meal and hope that everyone is satisfied. Like somebody is going to get something out of this meal. So I'm just going to make everything together and then you figure out what it is that you want. I was very disappointed with the Deliverance / exorcism at the end, and she died. And I was like, well, what was the point of her? What was the point of her being here if she was going to die in the end? I've never seen any type of exorcism movie where they didn't do anything. Like she didn't do anything. She brought it forth and then she was dragged around the house by her hair. I just didn't see the point of that. She should have just left them alone because she didn't succeed the last time. She knew she wasn't going to succeed the second time, so she could have let that go. I was excited to see Tasha. I thought she was gonna. She didn't. It doesn't matter what I thought she was going to do. She didn't do it. I was excited, and I thought it was funny when she was like, "Babe, we don't do that here. You're gonna have to find something else." And that was her exit. I don't like Omar's do-rag. I felt that was pointless. That really bothered me. I don't know why it bothered me, but him being in there with his scrubs on and that do-rag, it really bothered me to my core. And Monique, honestly, I want to know what her relationship is with Ebony's mom, because they have had words before. Like they have gone through it, alluded. I'm creating my own story in my head. They have gone through it before, because the way she looked at her and got up and left, and then that next go round she came with the baseball bat. We have had some experiences with Mama Alberta before, and I would have liked to see how that played out. Because in my story, in my movie, in my head, she knows about how Alberta treated Ebony. So she knows the backstory of everything. So she doesn't like her because she knows.
I should make a whole movie, child.
I mean, I had to in order to fill the hole. So yeah, I think that's what happened. She knows the whole everything. So
now, what I wanted to know was, because I'm not familiar with Deliverance or what that looks like, and he went out of his way to make this not only a Black experience, but this isn't called the possession, the exorcist. No, this is called the Deliverance. I don't know. Is there a difference between a Deliverance, the performance of that, and standard exorcism? Is there a difference?
Yes, absolutely. I have that at the end. We're gonna talk about that at the end. I got a slide for that one, but yeah, we gonna talk about.
That's what I wanted to see here. I wanted this to make a distinction, and I thought that was gonna make this film different from every other possession mixture of a little Amityville in there, a haunting type of situations that we've seen repeatedly with possession films. But this felt like your standard generic possession movie. I didn't get that difference in what would make this a Deliverance and not your standard exorcism.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about what we probably should have seen and what we actually did not really see. D. Why did he do that to these people? Why was Omar Epps shaking it for this old white woman?
Listen, I mean, it's been stated and it's obvious, but these roles, these characters, a lot of what we see here, especially with these actors who are all solid in some way or another, this is a scheme that Lee Daniels set up to come to them all with the BS. And we are, unfortunately, the recipients of said BS. And I think the thing is, I say it all the time when it comes to my reviews, that I can, and this is flying in the face of that. There are some times where I can appreciate where something is so bad that it's good. And I can appreciate something that commits to being bad. I understand why some people might enjoy this movie on that level, but there's also something I say about films that waste potential. I think it'd be one thing if you had if you had a bunch of actors out the Tubi bargain basement bin, then that's fine. We can kind of circumvent that, but you can't have actors who have been nominated for Oscars, nominated for this and that film, who have starred in, like, you know what I'm saying? And I think the sad part is, like, in between the foolishness, especially in this script, you can see that they're doing their best. Like, I like the idea of having Monique as kind of an inversion or kind of subverting what her character was. We saw Precious, we know, we know what that experience was like, and the idea of seeing, having the experience of what it is to have your own experience as a parent, and then seeing someone who is just not doing anything to bolster the lives of their children positively. I needed Tasha Smith. I appreciate that she was doing something different, but I needed some Angela energy in this just a little bit. I wanted to see her get in on this, and she gave her
2 scenes, baby. She got, what was it, 2 scenes?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, and then she chucked the deuces and she was out. Anjanou Ellis-Taylor. Again, much like Andra Day, I'm glad that they are a part of Exhibiting Forgiveness. Maybe we'll be able to discuss that when that comes out. So I'm glad they are part of better projects. And then with Omar Epps, someone already said this in my chat, but this is just another Oprah and Terrence Howard and The Butler. We just gonna put 2 random people together that don't make sense together just for the shock value and the mess and the foolishness of it. Oprah and Terrence Howard had a love scene that was cut out of that film, which as trifling as it as trifling as it sounds, like, I would have been interested in seeing what that looked like. I would have liked to have known. I always get my life when she tells him to get his yellow out of her house, so yeah, I'm not surprised. This is what we get, but I'll just say this: I'm sure it makes Monica and Quincy look just a little less problematic from this standpoint.
I cannot. Let's see. We got some more super chat. Did Glenn Close get a kick from City?
She did, Trent, because them shoulders was gonna be out, baby. Them patterns and them shoulders and that cusp of her bra strap hanging out. It was very City Trends. City Trends on the beat all day. Oh Lord.
Wow.
Them shoulders, every single shirt, Glenn's shoulders gotta be out.
Is there a slide on here of the weave? Is there a slide in here about her doing who? So when did she take the time? Did they just say, just sew it like this? Just sew it. Just make this movement right here.
No, Tasha, it was her, the baby going upstairs. And where you going with half your head in? You ain't going nowhere with half your head in. Is that black scent? Did you just do a black scent? Oh, okay.
You have an attitude right here while you get your head finished, because you're not going to school tomorrow like that.
Yeah, Glenn was trying to get at Beyonce Cadillac. Don't be looking at me like I ain't got no drawers on. She was trying to give her Beyonce delivery there. I was like, okay, with the black scent.
Dane, I know you trolling us.
Thank you, Dane.
always forever trolling us. And see, Bree know you trolling because she said, don't start.
Please.
Don't not today, because we are the people already trolling us. Trent again for the $5 super chat. I kind of wish they had got Mariah to be the caseworker, tying in cinematic Lee Daniels track. So you want the Lee Daniel universe? Ain't nobody asked for that. Nobody asked for a Lee Daniels universe. I don't unless you're gonna do a spin. You know what? Don't even do a spin-off of Empire. I'm not watching that either. Because see, after this, he had me waiting on this movie and it didn't deliver. Okay, the Deliverance did not deliver for me. But I appreciate you all with the super chats. You all look, stick around. We still got a lot of this movie to talk about, but I want to give a shout out to everybody that's in the chat. It's over 100 people, over 150 people here in the chat. So thank you while we take a short break so we can say thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Let's get into the next half of this live, because we still got a lot of stuff. So whoever think we in here dragging it, we ain't done yet. So if you don't want to hear us complaining and tearing down the black man, then you know what? Then why is you here? Because we got a little bit more left. But we did say it was some good acting. Okay, we watched it. They got everybody views on this panel. We watched it. Okay, kudos for all the actors in this movie. Now, for those of you who do not know, this is actually based on a real story. Now, when I say based on a real story, I need y'all to listen up when I say this, because it's not what y'all think it is when we say real story. Because some of y'all was up there, oh, this is he based this on a whole real story, and y'all ain't saying it right, and da da da. No, this lady's right here. She had an experience, and she was actually in Gary, Indiana. I think this story took place in what, Philly or something like that. And as you can see, she's biracial. No, she's not. That was Lee Daniels. Okay. This is what the house really looks like. They say this house is actually still very, very much so haunted. And in the story, like I said, this is based on her life. So in 2011, Latoya Ammons and her family moved into a rental home. They begin to experience some strange things. They like flies, the footsteps, doors opening and closing, sound like some poltergeist stuff was happening. Okay. She even felt like her children may have levitated and climbed the walls. They even had, I think, maybe some social workers or nurses who got involved, experienced some of the same similar things. But what I will say is that she is fully African American. She is not biracial. So Lee Daniels' direction, there was enough here, so we could have got a real good horror story. We could have got a black poltergeist, is what I thought I was gonna see. Lee Daniels said, I don't know about all that. I want to talk about not the black woman struggle. I want to talk about the biracial struggle here. And as you can see, look at this. Look at her quick weave right there. This she don't look nothing like. He wanted to tell a whole different story than what was being told. Tyree, I know you did some research on the real story. How did you feel reading about this lady's true story? And then when Lee Daniels said, I don't want to do it like that.
We had enough. There was more than enough material to work with everything he added and embellished on. I was like, okay, well, maybe the paranormal situations that she experienced weren't, as hard hitting. Maybe he felt the need to add all of this extra. Like, no, he kept a lot of it, but he added so much of the traumatic part in the biracial thing and the situation with the mom and the profane, all the back and forth. He decided to add those things. I was just like, why? This could have been your straightforward. Her story was enough. I just felt like I didn't understand why he went this route with it to add on. Why add trauma on top of trauma? What she experienced with her kids was traumatic enough. And I felt like there was so much material here to work with. And in fact, I didn't like that he didn't want to talk to her. But we are, using the piggyback of was based on a true story as advertisement, but said that he was nervous and uncomfortable to talk to her. So he spoke to her maybe once or so over the phone, but he just really wanted to make this his own thing, but use her story. But we didn't want to talk to her or have her maybe elaborate on her own experience. I didn't like that. I felt like that was a missed opportunity, and it really could have added more levity to the story he was trying to tell, or give it some substance to where he didn't feel like he needed. Maybe he didn't feel like it was enough. I don't know why. Maybe he didn't feel like her experience was enough and he wanted to add on those things. But I felt like Miss Latoya needed a conversation, and maybe she should have been there on set. You're using it. You're using the narrative. Why not? But this is the route Lee Daniels wanted to take. He said he wanted to make it his own.
And that's not the movie we thought we were going to see. So he roped us into him telling a black trauma story and tried to say I'm gonna do a horror movie. No, that we didn't ask for that. Nobody asked for that. We got another super chat down here somewhere below that don't want to pop up right now. I'm gonna slide back to it. Is it on the screen? No. While I'm trying to pull that one up, Ashley, how did you feel? Because you got some backlash on the
Oh
clock
yeah.
app about people saying, well, it was a true story. So if you didn't like it, you didn't like the real lady story and all that. How did you feel about when you learned what really happened?
Well, here's the thing. I think people get confused, right? When they say this is based on a true story or inspired by actual events. It doesn't necessarily mean that that is canon and that's what they're using as the film. That means they took an element out of it and was like, okay, and in his instance, I'm gonna revise this. I'm gonna make it dramatic. I'm gonna do all of these extra things. And I think the story in and of itself was enough. I don't think he needed to go down his path like as an artist to add these additional elements. I think there was enough source material to really make, creative choices, but not to completely derail it. We didn't need Glenn Close and the 27 piece. We ain't need it. We didn't. I didn't need the nappy coochie. I didn't need it. I didn't need it. I didn't need that baby shrouded like Christ in the middle of the floor, like he was hanging on the cross. I didn't need it. Like what? Make it make sense. I don't know. And enough is enough. Real life is stranger than fiction a lot of times. So I think we could have been honest and sincere. And I agree with Tyra. This story in and of itself had so much more potential because a lot of exorcism are approached from the purview of Catholicism. And I like that we were looking at it from an apostolic Pentecostal Black church. And I think it had a ton of opportunity to go in that direction. But I think he made a farce of it for me. It felt like satire in moments. So,
Um, $9.99 super chat. Thank you, Justine Spears. Andrew Day with the green eyes was at times giving Riri T's unfaithful error and can cuss
Oh
convincingly.
yeah, baby. She was cussing her butt off.
cuss down. Hear me. That's a
yeah.
skill.
That's yeah, you said exactly what we felt in that moment. I don't know why he felt the need to look. If you look at this lady here, if you look at Miss Latoya here, would you think I'm gonna cast Andra Day?
Well, he had to, Kate, because he said the biracial dynamic between the mother and daughter, the Black daughter, as he put it, it's not explored enough. So that's why he put that element there. We couldn't do that if we had Latoya here. It's just Latoya.
D.
I would just like to first and foremost say I thought I kind of went back and forth. I'm like, should I mention that? Should I not mention that? But I do very specifically. One of these days I'm going to find it again. But I do very I very much recall a time where Lee Daniels mentioned how what his life was like growing up, poor and Black and discriminated against, all these things, and how his life changed when he. I'm paraphrasing, but you can read between the lines how his life changed once he entered the wonderful world of white people. So it's very, very clear. So it's very clear what time Lee Daniels is on, and I ain't forgot that, and I'm not going to. Lee Daniels, and there are a lot of things that Lee Daniels has said that has not surprised me. Once that I learned about that. And his perspective of the world. And let's be honest, like Lee Daniels is the same person who had Dame Dash running up on him in public. I want to say it was at an award show. So I mean, Lee Daniels is always going to have a scheme and a scam, and that's really what this is. I mean, like he said, he did what he wanted to do. And why tell a story with some level of nuance or depth or interest, and this isn't quite the same thing. But when I spoke about daughters, or even when I think about exhibiting forgiveness, there are ways to examine trauma in a way that is not a mockery, that is not force, that is not trivializing it, that is not like, there's a way to do it. But the directors and the cast and the crew, everybody has to be aligned and be on the same page for that vision to be realized. And let's just say that Lee Daniels, and I think we should know this at this point, that is not his vision. His vision is not to he himself, Tyler Perry, King Barris, the Unholy Trinity of cinema. Like, as long as they are in the mix, the Unholy Trinity, it's always going to be tomfoolery, hood boogery, and shenanigans. So we'll just leave it there. He deserves more. He deserves more.
$5 super chat. So Get Out, the first Candyman, Tales from the Hood are still the kings in black horror. At this point, because this we're not putting this in the league of black horror cinema, but this is not among the great films. Blade, People Under the Stairs, Blackula. This is not in there. This is not that. Tasha, what did you think when you found out about this young lady and her real story? And Lee Daniels said, "Well, I don't care about that. I'm gonna tell a different story. Not even her story. I'm gonna say this is based on a true story, but it really wasn't really based on her story. Like, because I don't want to be that way."
So when she showed up on my TV screen at the end of the movie, I was like, what is this? I feel like I would have preferred to see more of a documentary-like situation of her story, opposed to this I'm going to create whatever I want to create situation. I think he just put based on a true story just for shits and giggles, because it's not based off of her story. The kids, I will forever in my brain see that little boy squatting in the classroom. And so, we're just going to leave it at that. If you haven't seen it, you're going to have to go watch it. But her standing in the middle of her choir practice or whatever. So imagine being the person whose real story this is, and you go to watch this, and you're like, well, whose story is this? This isn't my story. So I feel like he should have just said, this is a movie that I'm creating. We shouldn't have even put LaToya in it at all. We should just let her live her best life, move on about her business in Philly. And it just is something that he created out of his own brain.
Yeah, because that's Ashley said, like, this is, people take based on a true story and inspired by true events as verbatim. People don't read. So for anybody who does not know LaToya, she was an alcoholic and had this toxic relationship with her mother. She was beating on her kids. Like, that's the first thing people like. And I wouldn't I can't speak for her, but I wouldn't want to be depicted in that light.
Not at all. Dane C. The Exorcist was based on a real story of a white boy, not a girl. The movie was nothing like the real story, so Lee just followed the same trend. Are you on Lee Daniels' payroll? Because if you are, I hope he's giving you a little extra bonus
on my payroll. Dane, like, you already know what's up. Thank you, Dane, baby. I love you.
I hope that he giving you a nice little checky check for caping for him on today, because
we could take that route. If you want to take The Exorcist, well, other people have done it, but was it successful? Was the film executed well? The Exorcist is legendary all on its own. We're not even going to put this next to The Deliverance. Don't even mention that in the same sentence. Like, if he had took this and it was a good film, we would be having this conversation, but we'd be applauding it for how great that this film was and how it's just so changing and inspiring in the realm of possession films. Like, oh, this was something new in black. Like, if this was that in black, all hell Lee Daniels. It's not. It's black and it's bad.
Did we get to everybody on this real story and how y'all felt? I feel like we all talked about this on the real. So now that we know the real story, what did Lee Daniels do? A bunch of mess. He decided, let's not tell just a regular horror. Let's not focus on the possession at all that much. Let's talk about some black trauma here. Let's have the mama and the grandma cussing each other out back and forth. Let's have the oldest son being bullied. Let's have the younger two just being humiliated in public. An absent father. Let's talk about that part. Let's talk about why is she Light Bright and the children are Wesley Snipes. Show us who the daddy is at this point, because make it make sense. We got the look, and I just wanted it to be one possession. It started, but the demon just said, you know what, I'm just go and touch everybody. We got this dysfunctional family. We got the mom sipping a little drinky drink, saying, oh, I don't drink no more, I've been sober. But it wasn't nothing but a little drink. You know what, I did drink, but I didn't drive. Girl, I can't do teen angst at all. This middle child with her teen angst. Caleb, I'm getting bullied, but I'm trying to stack my bread. Don't you touch it. This was Amityville versus The Exorcist. And even Lee Daniels, because he saw them houses and said, ooh, those look like the Amityville houses. Let's go ahead and use one of those. Meets The Exorcist. Boom. Take that house. Take these black families, and we're going to throw them in the hood. And guess what? I got y'all a good movie, and y'all going to love it. TP with a $5 super chat. Y'all acting like Glenn Close wasn't like a snack. I'm nominating her on the next Fine Celebrity Live. Don't you come over here with that.
What you gotta do, TP? What you gotta do, TP? I'm gonna pull it up and we gonna rate Miss Mamas. Like, I think he tried to have peaks and valleys with her character, where they were all watching a movie together and doing each other's hair. And I'm the type that would spend my last to, give my daughter the party she wants in the cell phone, or the fact that she has that toxic relationship with the mom, but she's still willing to pay for her chemo out of pocket. Though, I mean, I was like, this, it wasn't enough, but I see the effort.
Anything else, Tyra, on the actual movie? That's all you got?
It just wasn't. I just kept waiting for something to happen. I kept waiting. The pacing was poor. If we would have left some of that trauma stuff out and all the cursing and the back and forth, we would have just had simple time for tension building and horror. We didn't need to see the flies in that basement so many times. Like, there just wasn't enough dimension for this to even be a well-executed horror movie. Even if he wants to put that trauma there, fine. If this was a good movie, I would have let you rock, sir. It just was poor. And we horror fans out here. This wasn't even a good horror movie, let alone a black movie. This wasn't a good horror movie. He needed some help. He needed some help. I don't know what his writer's room or I don't know what it looks like. He needed some help. I think this was a little bit out of his realm.
By help, the type of story he wanted to tell, the only person he was going to call for help was Tyler Perry at this point. Tasha, what did you think about the actual movie now that we know the real story?
I do feel like the beginning was dragged a lot. I would have liked a little bit more information on the basement. I think if he would have leaned more into the basement, why were we just opening the door and going to the first 2 steps? That could have been something. And I feel like at the end he tried to, well, I'm sure we'll get to the end, but because that sold it for me, I was like, I'm done. But the horror part, I feel like, was smashed into about 15 minutes towards the end, and that could have been stretched a little bit longer, and I would have appreciated that. But starting from the first fly, I agree, there was too many flies. The first fly, the basement, from there, horror into that, the little boy being possessed, even the hospital scene and all of that, I would have appreciated it more, because I do like horror. And I just spent a good amount of time like, what is this? Like, why are they this? And then okay, there's the horror, but then the movie is over. Yeah. And the way that you ended this movie had me like, I could have been doing something else.
There were flies in LaToya's story but he took it like, I'm gonna rev it up, it's gonna be fright. But you do it to the point that there's nonsense. No logical person, because if we see flies, baby, something or someone is dead. There's a body. I think we were all anticipating what could have been in the basement or what could have happened in the basement. It just felt like there was a fear of being there. And then once we got it, it was like, oh, okay. And then they have the visions in the presence of the man to maybe kind of subvert of maybe what we thought the demonic thing was. And then we find out, of course, in the end that it's trauma, like only Lee Daniels can do. I was like, oh, I thought there was going to be something heavy with that basement, because why we only going here? Like, okay, here we're not going to go in. because clearly something's dead. Even in the situation with the cat, you ain't got no money. I ain't give you my money for this cat.
Right, that was so annoying to me. Like, throw the cat back. I'll just go down there and get the cat. I was like, why couldn't she just go get the cat? Why are we bringing the warranty people to get the cat? Just go down there.
It just didn't make any sense because she had that traumatic experience happen to her there, so she didn't want to go in there. But that would have been nice to know, an hour before we got answers for that. I don't know.
Thank you, Trent, for the $5 super chat talking about Viola Davis, the school of bareface Viola Davis. $5 super chat, swag fan, Lee Daniels, drunk hollering at Tyler Perry. You ain't the one.
I'm the one.
Ashley.
y'all know I'm not a horror person. I'm a scaredy cat, and I just it wasn't scary. Like, I just wanted something. And Books, Gers, and Purrs brought up a good point. She talked about, did they even really explain how the house became haunted in the first place? Why this spirit attached itself to the youngest son or the son of the house? And I said, no, they do talk about the other family when Apostle, comes in, but still give us something. Like I said, there were so many missed opportunities to give us a real story. Like, why should we be scared by this? You know what I mean? And I think in any movie, not just horror, you want whatever it is. If it's a thriller, if it's a mystery, if it's a comedy, you want that sprinkled throughout from start to finish. Like everyone has said before, the horror was down to like the last 5-10 minutes, and it was garish. It wasn't like there was no subtlety at all. It just went from this, toxic AF family to all of a sudden we're seeing people scale walls like Emily Rose and like, and nappy coochies. Like, I just, I don't know.
Still over 150 people in the chat. Y'all, thank you all for showing up for us. Y'all make sure you hit like and subscribe on everybody's channel here. D, the overall movie, after we now know what happened in real life, how do you think Lee Daniels carried out this movie with his little sprinkle in some Black trauma?
Well, let me say this. Amidst all the Black trauma that was there, I think the one thing that should stand out is that Alberta was a true ally. How many white women have you seen go through the process of learning how to put a sew-in into a biracial or Black I just feel like she's not being given credit for that. I just, that's true allyship in my opinion. Outside of that, I'm really not here for the precious horror cinematic universe. I don't know. I don't know if that's what he's trying to establish here, but I'm not interested. I'm really not.
He said not interested. Y'all drop in the comments if you would like Lee Daniels to do his own multiverse, because D said he is not interested in the Lee Daniels multiverse. We don't want to see it. If you in the comments, let us know if you're interested in the Lee Daniels multiverse. Dane with the $2 super chat. Vote every Black.
I think rooting for
when he say vote every Black, we going back on that.
She didn't mean, because she didn't mean this one
for everybody.
By Black, we mean we room for Latoya, the one that this actually happened for. Like, I'm room for her. This was actually her story, so I got her back. I not this one. No, we good on that. Absolutely not. Who's here for the Lee Daniels multiverse?
Girl,
I'm just here for him and Monique breaking whatever that situation was. So we don't have to hear about it anymore. I'm here for them collaborating. Clearly, everything's good in the hood. This is their second time collaborating. It's fine. They're good. I'm here for that. I'm here for that. So we don't have to hear about it anymore.
People love it. He accomplished his mission, just like Tyler Perry. They accomplish every single time because people love it. And that's okay. But it's also okay for us to provide criticism, y'all. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
Joshua, $5. Black trauma and the speaking in tongues.
No, wait. What did we all three of us watched it together. What did I say early on in the film? How did I say they were going to salvage this moment? What did I say? What did I say? Tell me what I say, okay? When we were watching it together.
This is the end of this movie.
They finna shut their way up out of this.
That was it. When that happened, I said, and I'm done. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. I'm officially out.
I say, I know where we're going. They about to shun out of this situation, and they did. I said, okay. I love
did he want to tell a religious movie, or like, if that's what you wanted to focus on, could we have leaned into the Deliverance a little bit more? Because as we see, a Deliverance is focusing on spiritual oppression, which apparently that was his thing. We needed somebody to be oppressed, spiritual oppression, and you have to believe in it. We need you to believe. I believe. Unlike an exorcism, is like, I don't care if you part of the Catholicism. If there's a demon there, let's cast him out. Okay, it don't even matter at this point whether you believe in heaven or hell. The demon right here is real. That's all you need to know right now. Let's go ahead and scoop him up out of there. But the Deliverance is like, I need you to have some faith so that we can go ahead and get him up out of here. So what was that? To teach us a lesson at the end that you got to have faith? Because if you don't have faith, all three of your children and your white mom will all be possessed by the demon. D, talk to me.
What am I talking about?
Did he do a good? Do you feel like you got a good depiction of a Deliverance in this?
No, because I was waiting for the Lord to deliver me from the foolishness of this movie, and
Ashley, how did you feel about? Did you feel like after watching this, if somebody said that they needed a Deliverance, do you feel like that this movie showed what it would look like?
Girl, no. And so here's the thing. So I was raised Pentecostal apostolic. Okay. So I know what a deliverance looks like in practical terms. I know what a house cleansing looks like. I know what real speaking in tongues looks and sounds like. It felt, and someone said it in the comments, it felt like a mockery to me. And I think there's a way to approach it, because it is culturally significant for a lot of Black people. Deliverance is a Black people experience for the most part, in terms of the faith. And you're right, it focuses more on oppression, not just possession, right? Possession can be an aspect of it, whereas again, exorcism involves Catholicism and a priest who is like the proxy between you and God. In this one, they do talk about apostle, and she's like, I go straight to Jesus, and that is the Black thought, right, around Deliverance. Again, I just think it was so ham-fisted, and it was so over the top. Any Deliverance that I've seen in real life looked nothing like that. Come on, guys. And I think even if you are going to take it and you're going to do your own thing with it, if you're going to go balls to the walls, go all the way. Don't play with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're going to make this a fantasy horror thriller, go all the way with it and do something. But I don't think you play like this. And it didn't deliver for me. It didn't resonate. It was sad, and it wasn't even scary. Again, it just yeah.
They threw me when they had poor little Lucas sprawled out there like this. Now, I have never in all my life, and I fall at least twice a week, have fallen with both of my arms out and my legs straight down together with cloth draped over me. Okay, he didn't even do that when they over here fighting Vecna in the upside down. Why y'all got Lucas looking like this? What was the reason? Nobody just sprawls out like this.
He was eating his own flesh for me. That was the part that I was.
Oh my God!
This was when I already knew we was going. I had told y'all we was about to shine out of the situation, and they did. They did not disappoint. I knew he was going to go in that direction, because once we, have her situation with Glenn Close, who's very saved and sanctified at this point. Like, you need Jesus. Like, I found Jesus and you need to find him too. And we hanging a cross and don't put that on the wall and this don't mean nothing. And she's not a believer at that point. So I knew that we would end with her needing to find her belief and save those children. I knew it was going to go the Shannon and Now route, and we were going to turn it up, because as soon as we go there, then you have defenders for this film. And for anybody who has something negative to say about the film, oh, you a non-believer. This film is about Jesus. How dare you? This is about faith. This is about the Lord. How dare you come in here and say anything about it? Because this is about, well, you're not a believer. You don't like God. You don't like, no, nobody said that. Nobody said anything about that. But when he went that route, oh, I knew the powder puffs were going to stand up with, the crucifixes on their chest, all lined up to defend this film, to say that if you don't like this film, you're not a believer in faith or in God and Jesus and all things holy. So I expected this, and people are following suit, because if you don't like this film is promoting Jesus. This film is promoting faith. She found God and she found the Lord and she saved her children. Yeah. Go to hell.
Yet the apostle, she ain't had no power, and she laid out in the middle of the floor. And someone's put that in my comments, literally. Oh, you say you're a believer, but you're not a believer because I don't like this raggedy movie. Come on, guys, be for real. Do better.
Tasha, you got anything on this, on the exorcism versus the deliverance? What was you expecting to see? Did you know what a deliverance was?
No,
what you got on this here?
I was not expecting that. I wasn't expecting it at all. I was officially done with the movie when she did. So when she was fighting herself, I was like, oh, okay. I can see the demon. I see the demons in me. This is me against myself and the sins of the mother, through the kids. I said, okay, I can see this level, like fight myself and my demons. And then when she did the thing and she started sliding on her knees and hollering, I said, okay, I'm done. I'm officially going to go ahead and wrap it up. And you know what it reminds me of? When I first moved to Georgia, I thought I was going to a haunted house. And I ended up at the trail of something. I don't know. They set me up like this movie set me up. And then we got in and he started talking about the mark of the beast. I said, what is this? This is not a haunted house. This is a religious thing. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to leave. That's how I felt with this movie. I felt like you pulled me in by hanging a Chucky doll outside the woods. And then when I got inside, you played me. That's how I felt. And then I was done. And now you're giving a cross to Monique and you're talking about faith. And now your family it's come together and is happily ever after in the end. No, absolutely not.
Tasha, it was the quickest conversion I've ever seen. It was overnight. It was instant. She was instant with her sanctified holy mission. It was overnight. I was like, oh, this is convenient.
Very much. With her tore up face, looking crazy. Oh.
And yet, this whole time, she could not be delivered from her alcoholism. But you can't be delivered from alcoholism, but somehow you got the power to deliver the whole family from demonic possession, and you couldn't even put down the bottle for her. You can't even fight Paul Masson and Jose Cuervo.
Out of all liquors came Paul.
But she a cheap
drinker at that.
I mean, I feel like she ain't getting the expensive stuff from where they living at. If you got to steal from your son, you ain't getting the good stuff. Okay, we're not getting the good.
I thought her transition. I thought the alcohol would go by the wayside once she saw what was happening to her children. It's one thing for me to be subjecting my kids to abuse, but things are happening to them that I have no control over, and bruises are appearing. I'm in jeopardy of having my kids taken away from something I'm not even doing. I thought at that point, the revelation and the liquor and all, like it just kept going. Like all of this was happening, and she had time to go sit at the bar. I was like, you know what? I don't care.
Well, now that we all know our thoughts, I like to do a little something. If you are not familiar with my channel, I like to rate the movies that I watch. So what we all gonna do right now is go through my Skull ranking list. I like to rank from 0 to 5, 5 being the best, 0 being the worst. Now, before we go into your rankings, I want you to think about this criteria: the casting and the acting, the score. How was the music? Was we kind of bouncing a little bit, or did you not? Did we get some John Carpenter, or was it forgettable? I don't even know what it sounded like in the background.
I don't
The
know.
premise of the movie is what we thought it was going to be, Miss Latoya's story. That was the premise I went into there thinking. The writing, did we feel like whoever wrote this had a good pen game? The direction and the cinematography, did we get some good angles, some good shots of this movie? All of this. What is your skull ranking? I'm going to start with you, Ashley.
Good child,
You're the
Lord.
sweet one.
Oh, am I? Oh, am I? Music 1. I don't remember a song that played during this debacle. I must have blocked it out. The premise was promising. I would say the premise a 4. The writing I'm gonna put at a 1. Again, there were definite issues with dialogue, with storyline, with timing, like tone, all of it. Direction and cinematography, I'm probably there's nothing. You know how you watch a movie and you're like, wow, that was beautiful, or you watch a show and you can remember shots or stills from that experience. It didn't give that at all. I'm gonna say a 1 there. And then as far as casting and acting, I'll say the casting and the acting, like I said, Andra was the standout for me. But I think all of the actors were solid. I would say a 4 for the acting. Yeah. Did you want an overall rating for the whole thing?
Overall?
2. That's the average, I guess.
That was very sweet of you to give it a 2. Very, very sweet. See, that's why you went first. You the sweet one. Over 170 people in here, so thank you guys for showing up here with us. Y'all the real MVPs for coming to talk horror with me on a middle of a Sunday. And I know the movie dropped a few days ago and a lot of other lives and reviews have been happening, but I appreciate all of you for coming out, supporting me, supporting the panel while we talk about this movie. I know some of y'all said we ripped it apart and we ain't rooting for everybody black. Dane said he done gave it a 10 out of 10, and I know you effing lying. Tasha, what is your rating for this movie?
My overall rating, based on the horror that I do like, and because this is supposed to be considered a horror, would definitely be, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 0. Do not recommend. I'm not going to recommend this to anybody. I'm not going to tell anybody else that I watched this. I am going to just definitely, I would prefer to say, oh, I've seen this on Tubi, than to say that I took the time on Netflix that I pay for to watch this, because I don't pay for Tubi.
Tyra?
Casting and acting is definitely a 5. Everybody here was a very capable actor. Like, we've seen better from them, and they did what they could with what they had. Everybody here was a top tier actor, minus them kids. I don't mess with them kids. Score and music, outside of Omar serenading Glenn, I don't remember a song or a score that was played. That's gonna be a 0. Premise, 4. It was there. There was material there. I'm not going to act like we didn't have something to work with. We did. Writing, 0. Direction and cinematography. He tried to do some. I did like the Audrey versus situation at the end when she was, with her defeating her inner demons in herself. That was interesting. Monique's hair was laid, but that's not a part of direction or cinematography, so I can't be done with that. I'm gonna have to give it a 1. But yeah, overall rating of this film, I'm gonna give it a 1.
A 1. The people in the chat, give me your overall. What do you rate this movie? 0 to 5 skulls. Are we at a 0 skulls? Like Tasha said, you ain't even getting a skull. The sweet pea said, I'm gonna give you 2 skulls. I'm cool. I ain't gonna watch it again, but I go ahead and give you 2. Struggle over here said, you get a 1 from me, dog. That's all. That's about all I can do is give you a 1. Drop it in the chat. What is your overall thoughts and ratings of this movie? 0 through 5. D, what you got?
5 across the board. No notes.
Lies.
So you just go sit in here and play in our face. You know what, D? I should just go ahead and kick you out of
All right. Okay, so casting and acting, like I said, the best part of this, Alberta / Glenn Close, really gave me so much that I didn't know I needed. So I will give it a 4 for that. The thing is, the casting is good. The acting, were it not for the horrific characterization and dialogue, I think it hampered what they could have done in this film, even though they were all trying their best. So I'll put that at a 4. Ain't no score, ain't no music, 0. I'm confused. There was like nothing in that category. Premise, I'll put premise at a 3. I think had we gone with the actual premise, then that would have been one thing, and there was still potential even with what this could have been. But it was already a little off kilter because it was so, I don't know, it was so kind of remixed in a sense from what it was to begin with. So that was already a wrap. I'm gonna jump to direction and cinematography. That's a 1. There was nothing visually interesting, anything, and I'm not gonna ignore that atrocious CGI in effects either. So no, and then this is Lee Daniels. So really that should be a 0 alone. So there's that. Writing is like -5. I just want to know and I really do want to know. I will write letters. I will get my mom, because she's a private investigator on the slide. But I will get her to go find out which one of these 2 writers, was it the white one or the biracial light-skinned black one that wrote this nappy coochie line? Because I want to know.
Because I know damn well that didn't happen in real life. First of all, her mom wasn't even white, and for whoever wrote that, y'all are out of pocket completely.
What? I just wanted to know why the coochie had to be nappy. That's what I want to know. Just because.
And how you smell nappy? How does something smell nappy?
Smell nappy, like
that will be the one thing that everybody remembers from this. It's already all over the place on
black, so you automatically nappy coochie. Okay.
And my issue is that's all he cares about, just like Tyler Perry, just like King Embarrassed. As long as we have these sound bites and the hood boogery and Tom Boogery that we pull from, that's all that matters, because that's what's going viral. That's all you see all over Twitter and everywhere else. No.
I cannot. Tony Roberts with a $4.99 super chat. After this and the Good Times cartoon, I'm thinking Netflix don't even like us.
They not like us.
I refused.
They not like us. They not like us.
You know,
you know he did. He got his name all over it.
Because that didn't have to be there. And that's why people are like, oh, this is kind of a comedy. This is supposed to be a dramatic thriller horror type movie. We got demon possessions and all that running around. This was not supposed to be comedic at all. And yet he had to do something foolish and put that line in there. And why did we need that? Why did we need that? If you have not already put your skull rating in the chat, would 0 skulls to 5 skulls? 5 is the best. I'm going to give it. I'm gonna give it 2, just because you get a point for the premise and you get a point for the casting.
Next time, have wardrobe on it, because I need to know why Glenn's shoulders was out in every single scene.
That's the
Hoochie Mama starter pack from 1992.
And I can't believe I watched a black movie and I don't remember any of the music and songs.
Not a single.
And I can tell, like, because especially like the house party scene, there were like some old school songs playing. I couldn't tell you what they. I don't know. I'm let down. I am let down, and whoever went to the movie theaters to pay for this movie, I'm sorry to your pockets, because why would you do that? Poor little stink.
I want my mental cell, my brain cells. If I could rewind and get that time back, then I would probably do that, because he had me set up thinking we was about to watch something good. He's like, he got all the cast members on the posters and stuff, like, oh, I got the good actors in here. This about to be one of them ones. And it wasn't one of those anything. But shout out to the chat. We got another super chat coming through at the end. 30 billion. What?
Where? Wait a minute. Let me go
Be
look that up.
quiet.
I know
Hold
you
on.
$30
lying.
million.
Hold on. Couldn't wait a minute.
This can't be
I mean, was those paid to the actors and not on the set?
It had to be because we got some heavy
Yeah,
hitters
that's
here.
salary.
And I told you that there had to be a pretty penny paid for this film because none of that went towards production.
He had to be in there paying. He had to pay Monique, especially from her pain and suffering from all this time. He had to pay Andrew. I know he had to pay Glenn Close to be in that movie. You had to pay Tasha. She's not only an actress, she
had
a whole director.
It is like was over 65 million, which including the film's budget, net worth estimated at 30 million when it was submitted. Child, so we anywhere from 65 to 30. He had to come up off some ducats to have Glenn Close saying nappy coochie. He had to, and on the floor with that bodycon dress on. It was disturbing.
And giving cleavage that nobody asked for. Is that where it went?
Omar asked for it. Omar asked for it with that do-rag on and no fade underneath to match. It's terrible.
Things that we did not ask for in this movie. You should give me some of those millions for actually watching it and taking the time to talk about it. Give me some of the funds from that because I don't know where it went at this point. Thank you, everybody. Still 150 people in the chat. I'm going to give everybody a chance to come up here and tell us what they got going on before I leave y'all alone. Yes.
Was the film sponsored by Mac? Because you know they had that out of nowhere scene in McDonald's drinking Mac Cafe Olays in McDonald's. Was it sponsored? Like, because that money had to come from somewhere. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Kay. I'm just wondering.
McDonald's don't cost that much with their $1.99 strong ass Sprite. So no. And they value meal. They ain't even cost that much. D just dropped a review for Beetlejuice. I seen you with the green wig on. Tell us what we got going on D Movie Man.
Shaking
he had a good time.
Oh Lord. Hey everyone, this is the Movie Man, fellow cinephile, popcorn addict, and emerging film critic coming to you with reliable recaps, reviews, and reactions. If you are not familiar with that tagline, that is the summation of everything I do over on my channel. I love discussing all things film. I love delving into the occasional theatrical trailer. And I definitely enjoy discussing and recapping some series that I really, really enjoy. Yes, as was said, I had the opportunity to catch an advanced screening of Beetlejuice ahead of its premiere this Friday. Had a great time. It was a lot going on, and I even scored some merch, which you'll get to see if you check out that review. It was really a great experience. I will also say I recently dropped my thoughts on Alien Romulus, on Deadpool and Wolverine, Trap. And I will also be checking out The Front Room very soon with Brandy. And and I'm hoping just to delve a bit deeper with my new series that I started called Analyzing Alternative Casting. Ahead of its release, I did a casting video, or I did a video discussing the casting of the 1988 film Beetlejuice and all the actors and actresses that we might have had things just gone a little bit differently. That's something I definitely plan on doing with other films. So stay tuned, support, like, comment, do all the things that I don't ask you to do normally. But since I was given the opportunity, I'll say it here. I would love to have it.
Thank you, D. Ashley, what's going on My Sweet Perspective?
Baby, I'm going to ask you, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, the like button, all of the things, and drop a comment below. September, you guys, is going to be a wild month. I went ahead on the community tab and published everything I'll be doing individually, but just know that as a collective, we have so much content coming for you guys in the month of September. So please just make sure that you guys are subscribed to everyone, that your notifications are on. Also, don't forget, we have an epic season 1 finale live for Interview with a Vampire this Tuesday. Well, baby, we brought the powdered wigs out. We are going to be in full-on cosplay mode, so don't miss it. It's going to be so fun.
Thank you, Ashley. Tasha, what we got going on? And I know you be on them TikTok streets too. What we got going on?
Well, let me just say thank y'all for letting me come and hang out. This was my first time, and this was fun. I enjoyed kikiing and dabbling my hands in something new. Now, if y'all are traumatized by this movie and you've been triggered and you need therapy, by all means, Javery Wellness, my practice, is taking new clients, and we are able to handle your trauma. So that is what we are doing. And I'm getting ready for the fall season, Kim. I'm getting myself ready. I'm getting clients ready. We're going to do a fall transition because in my mind, I need to go ahead and bring the pumpkins out and my uglies because I'm going to go ahead and transition. So yes, come on over and hang out for the fall with me. And I will watch y'all. Thank y'all for inviting me and having me. My little novice self.
And Tyra, what's going on Struggle Reviews TV?
I just want to say, anybody want to come in here and defend this little pissy film, have at it. I don't care. Secondly, pull up for everything that we have coming. As we stated, Tuesday will be Cosplay City. We going out with Interview with the Vampire, like only we can, giving y'all some cosplay. Don't miss that. And we may have a little after party situation directly after that live also. Be on the lookout for that. Things are coming up. Be on the lookout for a grotesquerie from the Aaron Hernandez story, 3 Women, Chaos, Fight Night. Like, so many things are coming to the forefront to be discussed. So many other, amazing Black things that we'll be giving praise to, because we do give Black things praise, you know what I'm saying? We will be doing all of that and then some. So be on the lookout for that. Please hit the notification bell and subscribe to every single person on this panel. We would greatly appreciate that. And I would love to get to 27K, before the next month and everything is out. And I'm like 100 or so away. So if y'all want to go and run that up, that would be great also. But yeah, I will be responding to comments. Okay.
Basically, she said she wants the smoke. So if y'all got some smoke, if y'all capping for Lee Daniels, Tyra said go ahead and run it. Run the comments. She is here for it. I want to say thank you to everybody who came out here, who did a little chuckle with us, who watched the movie, who maybe used our review as a means of, am I going to watch this or not? Hopefully we didn't sway you either way. We just wanted to tell you what we thought about it. Now that's up on y'all, how y'all feel afterwards, but I ain't gonna get up here and tell no stories. I am a true horror person, and I was looking forward to this. I wanted it to be the thing. I wanted this movie to win. And instead of giving me a horror movie, he said, I'm gonna give you the same thing that I normally give you and make y'all think that it's gonna be a horror movie. Hi, got you. Maybe maybe it's my fault. Okay. I didn't know he was gonna set me up for the okie doke. You know what? You got me, Lee. You got me. I fell for it, but you ain't gonna get me again. Okay. That's the first and last time I trust you on a horror movie. Thank you again, everybody. Thank you all for the super chats. Hit like and subscribe on everybody's channel. Like we said, Tuesday, we're gonna be here acting a fool for the Interview with the Vampire season finale. We got Chaos, we got Reasonable Doubt. We got Saturday horror panels. From is this month. Grotesquerie is this month. I'm about to turn it all the way up because y'all know I start celebrating Halloween in September. So look out for a whole bunch of horror foolishness coming from me. I appreciate everybody for being here. Panelists, y'all stay put, and I will see you all in the next stream.
If only for a moment I can see it, deja vu, get somebody to find these omens. We so defensively as clothing, making moves in the war under cover of a Trojan, and they ain't even know it. We live in it, give it all till the last. These niggas out here clueless in these streets, Stacey Dash. Just laughing cause I'm focused and I'm all in. Casually sipping the Bloody Mary like it's early on a fucking weekend. Everybody ain't built to just leap in, dive into a world where no one saves you when you're sinking.